Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be when you should text your girl. So this particular email that I've got is from a guy that followed what I teach, and he's strictly using the phone to set dates, but his girlfriend has sat him down twice now and had the talk about the fact that she does 100% of the calling, texting, and pursuing, and he never reaches out first. So he started reaching out, but he's wondering, if I keep calling her and texting her, is this going to turn her off? And so I've talked about this numerous times over the years, because as I talk about in my first book, How to Be a 3% Man, men are the aggressor. In other words, men are the pursuer, if you will, in the very beginning. In other words, it's up to them to get the phone number, set the date, arrange the place to meet up. If there's dinner reservations involved, it's handling that. If you've got kids involved, maybe it's your wife or your girlfriend and you got kids together, that means you take care of the babysitter arrangements. In other words, it's your job to plan the logistics of the date. Hang out, have fun, hook up, create an opportunity for sex to happen. That means if things go well, you're close to your place, so you can end up back at your place and hook up. Think from the end, in other words. And so as I talk about in the book, is the guy makes one date per week on average, because most people are working 9-to-5 jobs or Monday through Friday. They may only have 1 or 2 nights a week that they can go out and get together and do something anyways. So you're going to take your time, 1 date a week, or maybe 1 date every other week. It's just, it depends. If you're a busy professional, you might not be able to see somebody every week. But the point being is, as her attraction level grows, and the fact that most women will sleep with the average guy by the second or third date, and if you're only going out once a week or every other week or every week and a half, and their attraction level starts to grow, what's going to start happening is, when they feel safe and comfortable with you, is they're going to start reaching out, either calling you or texting you, not to ask you out. 99% of the time, they're not going to text you and ask you out. It's going to be, hey, how you doing? Hey, I was thinking about you. Hey, what are you up to? Or, hey, especially younger women tend to just, hey, that's their opener. But you should assume that if a woman's reaching out, it's because she wants to see you and you make a date. And as that starts to happen, if you've typically only been contacting a woman once a week or every week and a half, depending on what your schedule is like, and then she doesn't want to wait to hear from you, and she starts calling or texting you 2 or 3 days after your last date, you're going to assume that she wants to see you and you're going to make the next date. And as the weeks go by, especially as you get into like week 6 or 7, she's going to be calling and texting you usually a couple of times a day. And so you're going to be kind of in contact just about every day anyways, because it's what she's going to be doing. And then you're going to be getting together just about every day. But there are going to be situations where some women are going to, after a while, are going to get upset with you that you never reach out anymore like you did in the beginning. And that's this particular case here. So it's, how do you handle it? Because what I talk about in the book is, if a woman is calling and texting you and she's doing all the chasing and pursuing, you don't have to worry about getting dumped. But some women will bring it up, and here's how to handle it. So I had a quote that I wrote, and then we're going to go through this guy's email. And the quote says, when a woman is in love with you, she wants your attention all the time. A woman wants to feel loved and cared for by you. This means surprising her unexpectedly to let her know that you care for and are thinking about her. This does not mean that you become a validation robot to incessantly barrage her with text messages, phone calls, and gifts to prove that you still care. Women love mystery and unpredictability in a man. A random surprise when she's not expecting it means way more to her than scheduled good morning and good night texts every day at the same time that become predictable, boring, meaningless platitudes. Scarcity creates value. So let's see how we can apply that to this guy's situation. Hey, Corey, I'm a young man who has been following your work for a year. Since following you, I was able to attract a beautiful girl, lose my virginity, and have a great relationship with her. Fucking congratulations, dude. Good job. Obviously, you're a good student. and you learn the fundamentals. After reading your book 3 times and following everything you said, hold on, 10 to 15 times, dude. You got to read the book 10 to 15 times. Not 3 times. Just because you're in a relationship doesn't mean you're a master of this stuff. Because there's going to be things that come up 6 months or a year or two down the road. And if you didn't learn the fundamentals on communication and relationships, shit's going to start to go sideways on you. And then you're going to get into a panic mode and a fearful state, and you're going to literally chase her out of your life. And then you're going to be booking an emergency phone session with me. So in order to avoid, I appreciate the business, but the idea is I'm all about teaching self-reliance. I want you to get this stuff on your own without me, because I'm one dude and I can't fucking coach everybody. The goal is between my books and the videos that you can learn this stuff, so not only can you help yourself, but you can help all your buddies and teach this stuff. I was very successful in my love life, social life, and work life. I never texted my girlfriend much unless to set dates, but recently that has changed. She has given me the talk twice about how she doesn't feel loved or cared about when I don't text her throughout the day. So if you're a busy professional, if you're somebody like me, you're not going to be able to drop what you're doing and talk to your girl in the middle of the day. I may be in meetings throughout the day. I may have appointments. I may be out with friends. And when I'm with somebody, I'm not going to be sitting there on my fucking phone. Number one, that's rude. And number two, I date women that have healthy self-esteem. And so if they text me or they call me and I can't answer it, they know within a few hours I'm going to get back to them. And if they have a problem with that, it's typically because they're insecure and they're needy, and I don't date those kinds of women for very long because it's just not fucking worth the aggravation. So she gave him the talk, and she doesn't feel loved or cared for. So he says this was a big relationship deal for her. I always replied to her texts and only used the phone for setting dates, but it wasn't enough. I now text her throughout the day when I'm not busy, but I'm afraid that will eventually backfire. How do I balance this dilemma? Well, typically what I've always recommended in the past is when a woman brings that up, you say, okay, so if I'm hearing you right, you just want to hear from me a little bit more than you do. You want me to surprise you with a text or a phone call when you're least expectant, just so you know that I care. Is that correct? Yes, honey. Awesome. So the best way to handle that is just like I talked about in the quote, is not to like every day in your lunch hour text her, because then she starts to expect it. And then if you have an appointment or you have a commitment to something else and you don't text her when you normally do, she might get upset. So it's much better to be unpredictable and mysterious and to surprise her, because again, scarcity creates value. She's going to appreciate that a lot more. And the idea is when you see each other, you want to be excited and you want to have things to talk about. But if you're in constant contact and you're on WhatsApp, I mean, if you're focusing on your mission and your purpose, you should not be texting your girlfriend all throughout the day. You should be slaying the fucking dragons. But if you got a couple of minutes on your lunch hour and you haven't texted her in a couple of days, just a simple, hey, honey, want you to know I'm thinking about you. Can't wait to see you tonight. Looking forward to that chicken breast recipe. It's always my favorite dish. I love you so much for the fact that you're willing to make my favorite dish a couple times a month. Whatever it happens to be. Or, hey, babe, just hope you're having a great day. Just wanted to let you know I'm thinking about you. I'll see you tonight, or I'll see you tomorrow. And that's it. Something simple like that. Or maybe you sit down and you write a nice little card. Just a paragraph or two, just telling her some of the things that you love about her, that you love that she does or that she does for you. Maybe even telling her some of the things that you love about her and things that she does for you, because that's positive reinforcement. If you write in your little email, or maybe you actually write a card and mail it to her, that takes some thought. That takes some time. That shows that you fucking give a shit about her and she's important to you. You're not doing it because you were prompted to. You're doing it because it's a random gift from the heart. In other words, don't do the same thing every single time. Maybe every once in a while you write a little post-it note. So when she gets in her car, to go to work in the morning after spending the night with you, and she pulls her visor down because the sun's out, your little Post-it note is, I love you, have a great day. Little things like that. Because what the big thing that she's complaining about is she doesn't feel loved or cared about. So don't text her like a robot, because that's what she's asked for. Surprise her. Maybe once a month, write her a random card. Maybe once a month, leave her a little random Post-it note someplace where she's going to find it. Maybe if you're staying over at her house, you take one of the little longer Post-it notes and write a bunch of things that you love about her and stick it on the inside of the medicine cabinet. And so when she opens it in the morning, if she slept in and you hauled ass because you had to get to work, and she opens the medicine cabinet, there's your little note telling her a bunch of things that you love about. She's going to go, oh, he's so sweet. And then she's going to call her girlfriends and go, look at he wrote me. He's so sweet. And then girlfriends are going to go, you have the best boyfriend. You have the best husband. Those are the kinds of things that you're going to want to do, maybe on a weekly basis. If she sat you down twice, so at least once a week, a random phone call, a random text, a random Post-it note, a random card, maybe one time you send a card to where she works, because then she can gush about it and show all of her girlfriends and brag about you and how awesome you are. Maybe one time you send it to her house, and maybe every once in a while you send one to her parents and tell them all the things that you love about their daughter and why she's such a great wife, or why she's such a great girlfriend, or why she's such a great fiance, and you really thank them for doing such a great job of raising such an awesome woman. The idea is things like that show that you give a fuck, and that's really what she wants. She doesn't want you to be a robot and text her every single day at the same time, because after a while it gets boring. It's just like sending a girl a dozen roses every single day. The first 2 or 3 days, it's going to be beautiful. But when it's coming every day, you do it for 30 days, and you're like, what are we going to do with all these fucking flowers? We're going to do all these dead flowers. Thanks, but no thanks. And the idea is, like, if you're going to send flowers, maybe on a birthday, maybe Valentine's Day, once or twice a year, you're going to do something like that to your significant other. And so the idea is this scarcity, the randomness of she never knows what to expect. And every week she's going to be wondering, what's he going to do next? Is he going to call me? Is he going to text me? Am I going to get a card? Is it going to be a little gift? Is it going to be something from our trip? Did he buy me something in the gift shop when we were on a trip and I didn't see him do it? And he's going to send that to me? Be creative. Use your brain. But don't become a fucking robot, because when you become a robot and you do the same things over and over, it's just like going out on the same date over and over and over and over again. You're going to get called out on it eventually, especially if you do the same date over and over. Your girlfriend or your wife or your significant other is going to tell you, it's too predictable. Every time I come over to your house, I know what's going to happen. I know we're going to eat. I know we're going to have sex afterwards, and then after that, I know we're going to watch a movie and then fall asleep. Women appreciate randomness, they appreciate mystery, and they appreciate a guy that uses his brain a little bit and is a little creative and shows her in different ways that he cares. Maybe taking her car to get fucking washed and then have a little Post-it note in her car. Hey, went and took your car this morning and got it washed. Or, hey, I took your, if it's your wife, hey, I put new tires in your car because they looked like they were getting a little bald. And on top of that, I got it detailed for you. Little things like that, instead of just going and doing it, you can do it and you can make it special. And that's what she wants. She wants to know that you care. So if you'd like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to go to my website, click the products tab at the top of your screen, and book whatever coaching option works for you. And I will talk to you soon.